All right, back for another beer review, and today I'm reviewing yet another beer from the Finback Brewery, and they are out of Queens, New York, and this is their Wretched. So on the side here, they are calling this an Imperial Snacky Stout, brewed with pecan, maple, and coffee. It's basically an Imperial Stout that is brewed with pecan, maple, and coffee. Comes in at 12% alcohol by volume, no IBUs listed, and at the time of review, this can is almost exactly 4 months old. So yeah, Finback, you guys know I love what they've been doing over the last year and a year and a half, and I think their stout game is kind of slept on. I've had some really killer stouts from them, and this one sounds actually delicious. It's Imperial Stout, it has pecan, maple, and coffee in it. I mean, yeah, sign me up. So 4 months old, but I think we should be okay. Hopefully the coffee hasn't, fallen off too much, but let's give it a proper pour here. Yeah, that's pouring out like motor oil. I think I said 12 point, no, this is 12.5%, sorry. I think I might have said 12 or 12.2, 12.5%. So yeah, a big, big beer. Anyway, yeah, pitch black, looks like motor oil, has this really dark brown, half a finger head to it, super creamy looking, kind of a couple bubbles here, bigger on my side, but yeah, for the most part, just looks delicious. Get a nose on it. Wow, that coffee is still very prevalent. Yeah, definitely huge coffee blast to this one. Excuse me, there's roasted malts in addition to that coffee. A little bit of like a dark chocolate vibe too. This has been out of my fridge for around an hour, so you're probably looking 60, 65, 70 at this point. I mean, down here it's 65, so yeah, 65. Let's say room temp. Yeah, it doesn't smell overly sweet. There's a little bit of an acidic tone from the coffee on the nose. Like I feel like this is going to have a little bit of an acidity bite to it. But there's really nice dark chocolate, a little bit of underlying dark fruits like a sweet cherry. And, the chocolate is like a mix of straight on sweet dark chocolate and like a 50, 60% cacao bar. A little bit of caramel and toffee. A little bit of maple coming to the forefront now as I'm swirling it and it's opening up in the glass. Not really picking up on the pecans, not getting a generic nuttiness, not certainly getting pecans. It just, those seem to be kind of lost, which is weird because it is the first ingredient listed on the label. And usually when doesn't matter pretty much whatever it is, whether it's beer or food or whatever, the first ingredient usually indicates that they have used it indicates that ingredient they've used the most of. So I feel like they have a ton of pecans in here, but I guess not, based on my nose, based on my terrible palate. It smells good though. It smells like it should be a really good Imperial Stout, but it doesn't. They say Imperial Snacky Stout, like a pastry stout, something like that. Not really. It just smells like a well-made Imperial coffee stout, really, with a little bit of maple. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Goddamn Finback. Like, listen, you guys just, I know for a while, going back 2 or 3 years, I heard pretty good things about Finback, but there are a lot of people that, didn't think they were just doing great. They were just, solid jobs or whatever. I'm telling you, over the last year and a half, they've been nailing most of the beers. For me personally, like, I obviously love Other Half. And the fact that I can get Other Half pretty regularly now that they're, an hour and a half away from me, it's awesome. But Finback, for me, beer for beer, I don't want to say they've matched Other Half for me, but they're close. They're so close. And this is another winner. 12.5%, no fucking way. There's no way this is 12.5%. 9.5%? Sure. 10? Maybe. 12.5%? Nope. First thing I notice about this beer is that it has a really nice, like, almost viscous, chewy mouthfeel. Yeah, it's not really chewy and viscous. Let me take that back. It's syrupy. It has a nice syrupy feel to it. So body on this one, medium to straight on full on body at 12.5%. Awesome. Mouthfeel, slightly smooth, slightly soft, slightly creamy. I would think that at this percentage, I want a little bit less carbonation, but as is, still pretty solid. But the taste is so nice. Tons of coffee, even at 4 months. I'll have this argument with so many people, and you can call me wrong, and that's fine. I'm totally wrong most of the time. Coffee is an adjunct that totally falls off. I get that, no doubt. But this beer is 4 months old, and there's a ton of coffee left in this one. Enough for me. Maybe not for a coffee fiend out there or somebody that loves coffee or is a coffee nerd, but for me, there's enough coffee here. If there's more coffee than this, I probably wouldn't like it as much as I do. There's a lot of coffee up front. It does have a slight acidic. It's not as acidic as I thought it was going to be, but there's a slight acidic vibe to this one on the finish. But tons of coffee up front. It's passed through the palate. There's a maple and chocolate kind of like just hit. And it's a really weird combination, maple and chocolate, but it's a combination that I'm enjoying. And right through the middle of the palate, they intertwine and they mix with that coffee. And it's just such a lovely mixture of flavors that it's kind of hard to explain like what it tastes like, but it tastes like some kind of like coffee crumble cake with like maple drizzle on it and like chunks of chocolate. I don't know. It finishes pretty sweet. There is a decent dryness, no bitterness to speak of, a little bit of an acidic twang there. There's a slight nuttiness on the back of the palate that it finishes with that lets me know there is some kind of nuts in here. I could not tell you there's pecans in here. I could not specify the nuts in this beer, but there is a nuttiness there. I mean, doing this blind, I might even say peanut butter beer. That's kind of the nuttiness that I'm getting, but the pecans are there. But it's funny that they list them as the first ingredient. I feel like it should be the last ingredient. Pretty late at night here, and we got a motorcycle going by. Cheers to that. Stay safe. But yeah, anyway, this is a fucking another killer beer from Finback. There's not much more to say about this one. I feel like you have to enjoy sweeter Imperial Stouts. This is a pastry stout with pecans, maple, and coffee. This is a pastry stout, but it's not too sweet. This is not cloying. This is not sickly sweet. I'm going to finish this can, have no problems doing so. I feel like if you don't have a sweet tooth, then this is probably going to be too sweet about halfway through the can. But if you do have a sweet tooth or you do enjoy pastry stouts, then you should be fine with this one. For me, I would like a little bit more pecan. I would like a little bit better of a mouthfeel, but I really can't fault this beer all that much. It's kind of what it says it is, but just with the ingredients kind of reversed. I would put the coffee first, the pecan last, keep the maple in the middle. But at the end of the day, Wretched from Finback, that's a 4.5 out of 5 every single day of the week in buy books. It's another, like I said, great beer from Finback. They just know what they're doing. In fact, the day I'm shooting this, and you're going to probably see this, I don't know exactly when, in the next couple of weeks, the day I'm shooting this, 2 days from now, or actually tomorrow, the place that I got this can from, which is the One Stop Brew Shop in Rochester, New York, they just made a haul to Finback and a couple other breweries in the Hudson Valley / New York City region, and they're bringing back some Finback, and I plan on going there this upcoming Saturday in a couple days, and I'm going to pick up some more Finback if they have some left over on Saturday, because at the end of the day, Finback they get me. And I get them, and I feel like if you pass up Finback, if you can get them in your neck of the woods and they're on the shelves and you don't buy their stuff, at this point, I think you're doing a disservice to yourself, because you can call me a shill or whatever, a homer for Finback, even though Finback is like 7 hours away from where I live. They just are killing it over the last 12 to 18 months. They know what they're doing. Their Imperial Stout game is on point, at least from what I've had. Their hop forward beers are doing great. Even some of their sours have been fantastic. So I'm really digging what Finback's doing. So if you see this beer on the shelf at any point, grab it, because I don't think you'll be disappointed, especially if you like maple and coffee. So Wretched, Finback, 4.5 out of 5 all day, every day. Appreciate you guys stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Until the next one, cheers.